Great. That's valid. Okay. Great. Onegaishimasu. Yep. Great. We'll just do enough as we usually do. So, okay. Tricky flow both again. Okay. Great. Let's find a down motion. And move it front and back. Looking at the sides. Rotating. And open, closing into a wave. One. Okay, great. We'll do one movement for each. Join in the hands. So basically, let the hips kind of lead it, and let the hands basically follow. And just explore different directions. Use the top, and then down with it. Just kind of follow with the hands. Try and keep a kind of equal pressure in the hands. Even pressure. Just roll around the body. Let the arms extend away. Let them come close. Just explore. Use it to the body. Try and lead with the fingers, tips of the fingers. Coming down to the ground, going around the back a little bit. Be careful. Explore the joints, the shoulders, the hips, knees, elbows, the head and the neck. So nice. Good. Good. And just take the hands, cross them over and look into the wrist a little bit. And keep the elbows quite tight to the body. Wrists really mobilize over each other. Right. And change direction. Bring up the elbows, wipe the hands across the face. A little bit of tension in the arms as you extend fully out. Winding through the forearm. And change direction. Good. Roll out the shoulders, staying in contact with the leg. And change direction. Yeah, change directions, bring the hands onto the top of the shoulder. Roll that with the elbow. And bring the elbows as close together at the front of the movement, far away at the back. And change direction, move forward. Great. Let's take the elbow back, looking backwards with the head. Sink and settle towards the back of the movement. And extending out the fist, split the hand away from the body. Just couple with the arms extended, reach up a little bit and then spread the hands out to the back. The other side. Spread the shoulders as wide as you can. And change. One more each side. And change. Great. Into the hips. Nice big circles. And change direction. Okay, just take 1 foot forward. Just going to play with just gently pulling the hip up. So settle into that foot. Just think about pulling the heel up from the hip. Very gentle exercise, but so that you can pull the toe, pull the heel up, and think about lightening the toe contact with the ground. Slight incline with the body as you do it. Just do a few on each side. Just until the big toe's in the ground. If you can. Try and pull it up with the hip as much as possible rather than the foot doing it. Great, change sides. Onto the leg, pull the hip up. A couple more. Just stay in that position, just roll equally or roll alternatively the hips. Roll them out, really feel like you're pulling the foot out from the hip. And roll the hip up and over. A strange exercise, but nice one to wake up the hips a little bit. Make a kind of figure of 8 pattern with the hips. Great, and we'll just go to the knees, bring the feet together. Okay, spread foot width apart, and just roll in from the outside in. Stretch the knees back a little bit. Pull the toes up. And circle inside out. Stretch them back a little bit, bring the toes up. Just angle the toes slightly to the sides. Come down. Just use the arms a little bit to press away the hip and the knee. And pull it away to the side. You can bring the knee down to the ground. Just play with mobilizing the hip. And then just bring the knees down to the ground. Just sit back onto the heels. Keep the toes up. Just a little bit of a stretch for the inside of the foot and the toes. Settle the weight a little bit into the heels. Great. Good. Find the hands in the ground. Lift the heels up. Set the feet back a little bit and just walk out with the heels. Press both heels back. You press into the hands, trying to lift the hips. Just walk the feet out nice and wide. Bring the hands just level with the chest. The body. Suppose just lengthen out the neck forwards. Lengthen through the spine. Kind of an even pressure on the feet and the hands. Okay, just start to walk the hips back with the hands walking forwards, lengthening all the time. As you reach that full stretch out, just a couple of deep breaths as you do it. Right, let's keep the hips where they are, draw the arms back, bring the forearms into the ground if you can, let the head release into the hands and the ground. Couple of deep breaths. If you can, bring the arms behind the back, link the hands or the thumbs, just bring the hands up over the head. Can't just hold that position a little bit more. And open up the shoulders if you can, lengthen from the hands to the head. Couple of deep breaths. Slowly release the arms back down if you've got that. A little bit of pressure into the hands. Walk the legs back together. Press the palms into the ground. Release the head and the neck. Couple of deep breaths. Next in breath, just trace your way up to standing. Good, great. Okay, let's go into a little bit of foundation work. So we'll do about 20 or so, just deep hip hinges. So start with like a big wide position, feet slightly in turn towards the center line, and then just reach out as you come back, hips go back, hands go forward. We'll do about 20 or so. So do this with the breath as well, nice and big. You come in, breathe yourself up big. Breathe out into it. Breathe in, big. Put a focus as you come into that sphere of tension with the fingers together. Focus really on the little finger and the ring finger, squeezing in together. And really activate the lats at the back of the shoulders. Separating the hips and the hands. Let the knees really release backwards as you do it. Nice, big, expanded body as you do it all the way through. Good. Great. Keep going just a few more. Great. Next week, just pull the toes up off the ground. So just check the balance in the body, in the feet. Just always have to bring the toes up out of the ground if you can. Check the balance in the feet. Feel that you're really pressing into the heel, pressing into the base, big toe, ball of the foot, and the outside edge, the little toe. A few more here. Good. Last one, just hold it. Feel like you're kind of squeezing gently a piece of paper between the armpits. So the arms might come a little bit closer to the body. Try and keep that sense of extension out, but really focusing on closing and activating the lats at the back. Length through the spine. Focus on pulling the ground apart a little bit with the feet, spreading the ground. Deep breath in, and then breathing out, bring the hands up, reach up, nice and high, keep the hips where they are, spiral the fingertips up. Deep breath. Check the head, length through the spine. Coming down into a fold. Release the upper spine as you get down. The head, keep the weight back. Nice deep breath in. And out. Next in breath, find the shin bone, pull the back up long. Pressure into the shin. Slowly bring yourself up just above the knee with the hand, and then find that back long position. Couple of breaths here, about 20 seconds. You spread the thumbs, open them out, check the chin position again. One more time coming out, pull the hips back a little bit more. Find the anchor in the feet. You can pull the ground apart, you can pull it together. Couple of deep breaths, hold. And just pull yourself back out with it. Release the hips, shake out the legs a little bit. Great. Good. We're just going to like long lunge. Keep the knee back, feet parallel, and hips nice and square. Okay. Just going to a little bit of this is called a woodpecker. So you're going to go over the front hip this way. You're going to reach out with the hands just in front. The legs that's going to follow, track along the center line. Reaching out and coming back. Let the weight subtly shift into that front foot as you go. You come back up to 50-50. Allow the hip to really hinge forwards. That same pressure points with the fingers, and again focusing on the little finger, ring finger, to about 10 each side. And feel that you're going up over the hip rather than kind of through it. Up and over, lengthening all the way. That's it, just a few more. Very nice. Good. Yeah, great. And we'll switch legs, just bring the feet together. Step back. Again, just check the feet parallel, hips nice and square. Again, come up long and then pressure forward with the hip. Hinging over the front hip. And keep that weight back in the knee so there's no motion really of the knee coming forwards. And try and track the hands along the center line. If you hinge, just look somewhere between the fingertips, somewhere out along that center line. Just check the neck position as you do it again. Keep it lengthened all the way through the motion. Couple more. Great. Good. Let's bring the feet back together. We'll do one more time, that like long lunge, but working with a spiral motion. So first for you, just take the front hand at the hip, and you're gonna, with the back hand, think about this hip and this hand. This is spiraling through and taking you over the center line this way. So you're gonna allow the body to just come off the center line rather than going through it. This way. Hip hinges and just reach out. The first you just reach out with it just as far as you can. Just check that movement of the body, basically. And what you want to do is you'll feel a kind of urge for that front knee to start to kind of come out. Don't allow it to come out, just keep it spiraling down towards the ground. Let the back hip really guide the motion of the hand. Reach out, come back. Reach out, just come back. Just a few that, and then we'll do it with a little bit of pressure. Now that's nice. Perfect. Good. So just check the feet again, check that you're parallel. And then you're going to come into it with the hands together and then just spiral into it in the same way. A little bit of more length. And again, putting the pressure in the lats, squeezing the fingertips together and coming out of it. And then into it. Take a deep breath as you're in, if you like, and then come back with it. Again, key things like in the hip, really guide it, pulling you off center, but really anchoring you in the feet, holding you in place. There we go, just a couple more. Good. We do the same on the other side. Bring the feet together, step it back again. Just play with that exercise. That hip, hand on the hip, just reaching over with it. Just pull in and out. Just checking basically whether the hips are able to take the weight in the front leg, whether the back hip's able to mobilize in this position. Just really feel that connection with the hand. Reaching out, guiding the hip, or guiding the hand, hip guiding hand. So perfect. Yeah, great. Good. And then just coming into it with a sphere, tension in front, and guiding you off center. Right, so to really anchor in the feet. Push a little bit like the back heel's coming backwards towards the front back foot, and the back foot's coming forwards. So there's a little bit of a kind of scissoring of the legs as you reach out, especially. Now activate that whole chain of the leg, the back of the leg. Great. Just a couple more. Good, perfect. Good, great. Good. Okay, we'll do one more, which is coming to the ground. So it's a bit of a tricky one to start. Once you get it, it's quite an easy one. But it involves basically taking the leg one side back and one side forward. So you're going to reach the back, one leg backwards, same side arm, you're going to reach it forwards here. And your aim is basically just get down onto the knee here and then pull yourself back up. So it's a bit like you've got hold of a rope, reach down, and then you kind of pull yourself back up with it. Mostly it's with the leg, but the arm's going to kind of assist you with it. So we'll do, let's do 10 on each side and just keep the same side. So you're going to reach back with the right leg, reach back, reach forward with the hand, bring the knee down. As your knee hits the ground, pull yourself back up. You come down, pull yourself back up. Really anchor yourself in the other leg that's still. Reach out, pull yourself up. Keep going, do about 10. That's it, great. That's it. So foot reaches back, hand reaches up and forwards. And as you come up, think about lengthening up with the spine. Very easy way to kind of crouch up and then kind of come up. So lengthen up, lengthen up. Just a couple more this side. About 10. There we go. Okay, and then just settle into it. Pressure into that foot now, and then release the other side. Then down. Coming up. Coming down. And coming out. Again, trying to maintain the length all the way through the motion. That's fine. And just as soon as you feel the heel, the knee hit the ground, press and pull yourself back up. There we go. Good. That's very nice. Good. Great. And then next week, just alternate the side each time. So you're going to go right side, come back up, left side, come back up. You might find one side is a bit tougher. You've got problems in the knee. What? Great. That's it. Right. Great. Okay, great. Just loosen out the legs, kick them out a little bit. Okay. Great. Everyone's comfortable with going to the ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll just start with a simple exercise. Take the TANTO. We'll work a little bit with some, not too much 𝘭𝘭𝑚𝑖𝑤𝑎, but just working some other ideas than attacking with the knife. So, okay. Good. Okay, great. So the first one we'll do is just kind of placing it down, going to the ground with it. So just do this first, basically working with a squat. So we've turned the legs quite a lot, coming down. So just play with the knife, play with different grips that we've been doing, and then just play with basically coming down, placing the knife down, coming up, walking away from it. Just keep it in your awareness. Place it down, nice and carefully, coming back up. Move back a couple of steps, step in, take it, just explore basically picking it up, putting it down in different positions, different orientations for the body, different grips. You come up, down, nice, gentle, squatting in and out of the ground. You can also come down to a kneeling position if you want. We'll start to work a little bit in the ground with the knife. So, good. I also would placing it behind you as well, and kind of walking away from it. You can't see it. And coming back into it, also picking it up from behind without necessarily looking directly at it. That's it. Good. Okay, good. So just play, we'll do this with sight and without. So the first we'll do with sight. So just explore as you do this. Basically find an object which takes your attention, door handle, and just look at it and do a few with what you're maintaining this. Focus on that object and keep the knife there. So I'm really going to keep it. I'm not going to cheat by looking at the knife. So just keep it, walk towards it. Keep that focus out. And I cheated. Oh, and I picked up the blade. Damn, these are what you don't want to. So you don't want to cheat and you don't want to pick up the blade. You want to basically take the handle, but freely focus on having your attention all tracked to one thing, one object. The knife needs to be basically sitting in that field peripherally, and peripherally with your sight, and peripherally with touch as well. So, and when you've done a few on one object, do some on another. So low objects are also good, and high objects are also good. So they'll challenge your ability to position the head. Keep the feeling that you can. Focus ahead a little bit. And just explore different positions. Good. Yeah, really focus on that your object, basically. And notice how easy it is to get distracted from it. There we go. Good. So really enough. Just a few more, just cycle between a few objects. Some high, some low. Serena.
Michael, good
Hello.
morning.
We're just playing with a knife. Simple.
Okay.
Just pick it up and put it down whilst maintaining open focus. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Simple and easy. Okay. Next one. Make it a bit more difficult, or just in terms of your having a mental map. Now, I'm really not used to this space at all. But you're going to close your eyes as you do it. So place it down. Really give yourself a bit of a challenge to walk away from it. Kind of forget it. And then try down. Little space. Oh, I'm way off. Okay. So I'm going to try and shut up because you need to use your ears basically to feel the room. Use the noises in the room basically as well, much as your touch. Keep the eyes closed. Maybe challenge yourself by walking away a few steps, turning a little bit as well. Yeah. You've got kind of different levels in the room as well, settees and other things. Just play with placing it on different levels. Oh, I'm way off. There we go. Okay. Damn. That's it. Place it high. Place it on the top of cupboards if you can find them. That's it. Right. Okie dokie. Great. Okay, we're all happy going to the ground, right? Yes? Yes. No dissenters. Okay, good. So we'll just go to the ground with it. We're going to do a basic roll with it, but just play with one hand holding the knife. We'll do about 25 or so. We'll do about 15 total, but at some point we're going to change the hand. So just play with the knife in the grip as you go down. Just rolling with it. Just be obviously very careful with the tip. There's two dangerous parts of it. One's when it comes over the top of the head, and the other's when it's resting near the leg. So be really careful. You want the knife to basically fit inside the body. Fit inside the body. It's a roll that we do in Aikido all the time. The whole idea of it also later is that I can do it with weapons, or I can do it where the weapon's always available to be used. It's about 10 or so. Look. Just keep it in one hand. Nice soft contact. Again, keep that length through the spine, let it curl down and then lengthen up. Nice, so perfect. Okay, good. Just change the hand that it's in. If you're on the other side. Really smooth it out. Again, notice the contact with the hand that has the knife. Try and avoid the elbow basically hitting the ground directly. Like that to really round out those edges of the body. So, good. More. Forward. Good. A few more that side. Great. And then we'll just do a few exchange in the hand. So you're going to exchange at the back of the head as you come over. Change. Coming back. And then just allow yourself to kind of place. We'll open up hips a little bit with this one as well as you come forward. Allow yourself to kind of place the knife in the ground this way. But keep the blade basically able to be used basically. As you come down, roll back, exchange it, come forward, bring the hips forward a little bit. With the feeling that you can kind of bring the hips up and forward that way, and the knife could be used. Back, change, forward, back, change, forward. Just passing the knife between the hands.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ella.
See you later.
Enjoy. See you later. Great. That's it, that's it, that's it. Perfect. Very nice. Great. Okay, we'll just try a few now with the forward roll. If you've got space, if you've not got space, just stick to a few of the backwards roll. But you can obviously do this in either hand with it, and you can roll with it. But we'll focus first on the front arm doing it. So the front arm's going to kind of roll with it. This way, hand comes down, knife goes in. Be really careful the knife doesn't stick into the leg. You come through, find the ground, roll it over, and then the knife's basically able to be used here at the back of the movement. You can explore with the backhand as well, but the first one, the kind of basic one, is just learning how to roll with the knife in the front hand, basically. Yeah, so you do the same roll as you would do normally. Forward, take it really slowly, be really aware of the tip as you go over. And the knife should basically be able to be used all the way through the motion. So the knife's basically cutting forward. Give it a try. Ah. Good. And then just play with the other hand as well. So the other hand taking the knife, again, just in the front arm. Try and use the knife actually to assist finding that feeling in the arm actually. So actually very nice to roll with weapons. Also being conscious of being able to use the blade. It's also going to assist the feeling in the body that the pen's also like a slicing of the ground or cutting of the ground. That's perfect. Good. Okay. Good. Great. We won't do too many of this. We'll just do another set. So the idea now is you just start in Seiza, and you're just going to place the knife either side of the body. So preferably somewhere you've got space to roll, but place the knife out. And you're going to use now the backhand to take the weapon. You can take with the front, but as you come down into it, reach in, and you're going to allow that hand to reach the weapon. Here, come into the roll, forwards and out of it, and then find the Seiza position again. Place the knife down, roll. Make sure you don't roll over the knife. Yeah? So you're going to roll to the side of it. Take the knife, come up, and find it. Give it a try. You start in the Seiza, place the knife out to the side, roll, reach down, come forward, and the knife is there. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Very good. Good. Okay, we'll just do one more, which is coming out of ground, coming into attacks now. So what I want you to do is just focus on your dominant hand. So you're going to place the knife. Hopefully you've got pants on, you can just put the knife in. Start in a safe position. You're going to do this really slow, but focus on basically you're going to come forward and up into a ski. So you're going to bring yourself up onto the toes, find the knife, find the foot, and then come into the ski this way. And then find yourself back down, come down, place the knife in, sit down. Yeah, so just use your dominant hand in this case. Find the knife, find the foot, come up and thrust up and out of it this way. And so you're coming up with the strike now. Give it a try. That's Daniel. Hello. How are you doing? Good, good, good. Okay, that's it. So it's like anything with this, it's like balance work. So when you do this one, really focus primarily on the down. So the key focus as you come up is establishing this leg so that I can really press down into it and come out of it this way. So you are going forward with it, but really focus on, it's very easy to go to the forward to really take over. So it's very similar to all the other stuff we look at. A little bit extra tricky with the feet on the ground. Find the hip, find the hip, find the hip, find the hip, and come forward with it. Yeah. The key with one thing we also, the key with this is also focus on focus on the hip and the knee basically. So what I don't want to do is for the hip to be equal or below the knee, and then within the hips basically trapped by the knee. And as I come forward, it's going to be trapped, and then this is very difficult. So the body goes forward to get around it. So focus on basically getting the hips up above the knees, basically. So this stays as a really good position because the hips are already angled over the knee, and I basically just want to hinge them up and maintain it. And then here's the tricky one: I need to get up over that hip, up over the knee, and then just go from there. So basically, getting the hips up, maintaining them over the knees, basically, so that they're useful. So. Good. So. Good. Okay, great. We'll just focus a little bit on standing now, but keep that same idea. So you're going to have the knife in the belt or around the waist, and we'll just play with basically move around with it, play with different angles with it. But you just want to play with it smoothly, going from a kind of neutral position. Arms are kind of hanging beside the body. Neutral, 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 and then think about engaging in, find the knife and find the thrust, and then just as smoothly back in and back to neutral. So there's a kind of calm position, neutral position, but alert, aware, awake. And then just slowly come in, find it, draw it, thrust it, bring it back. So you want to be kind of casual through the whole motion. Isabella, hello.
Morning.
Good morning. What day is it? Friday? School. School, sorry. That's so nice. Just play with one exercise. This also is kind of a thing which also comes from EI. If you look at some of the Iaido draws, then there's always a kind of awareness back as they draw the blade, and sometimes as they draw the blade back, they go into a second strike. So there's always an idea that even when the sword's drawn, the enemy's still kind of dangerous, or there might be another enemy or something like this. So as you do this motion now, just play with this idea, which is as you come out, obviously you've got the ski. As you draw the knife back, basically, is it useful enough for me to still find another one this way? Or am I kind of distracted by putting it back in the button and then I'm gone? Yeah, so there's always an assumption that the encounter is never quite over. So the basic question is basically, can I use the knife at all times? So That's it. Yeah, and explore other attacks as well. So as you go into it, you've got the ski, obviously. You might find yourself as you come through in another strike, find something else. Again, try and stay alert, stay aware, and keep that focus with the knife, basically. So that basic question is, can I basically use the knife at all times? Is it possible to use it fully? Whoa. That's exactly, very nice. Okie dokie. There we go. Okay, we'll just spend a couple of minutes with this, which is the reverse grip. We've not done this. It's one of the hardest motions to do because it requires a lot of flexibility with the wrist and with the arm. So the easy attack from here is that kind of downwards yokomen, and the reverse one. The hard one, in a sense, is being able to slash with the knife in this position. So it's actually a useful skill, and someone that's trained with it will be very dangerous with the knife in this kind of position. So just play with this, but it's basically the ability to move. Now, my feeling with this is if someone's got the grab on the body, that I can basically use the knife to slice them. So the feeling is that if they're grabbed incorrectly, they've not really got control of my wrist, that I can basically mobilize the wrist and I can slice across and get out of the grip with it. So it's basically the ability, you can actually play with this, it's quite a nice one. Play with the grip basically on the hand and my ability to basically mobilize the knife and be able to cut with it. So it obviously involves not just the wrist, but the elbow being able to spiral through. So it's always using our basic kind of coiling or spiraling of the joint system. If I just use the wrist, it's going to be tricky. I can maybe get something on it, but I'm not going to really do anything. But if I can get the elbow to engage with it, then I can not only get free, but I can probably use the knife. I can probably use the knife into it this way as well. So it's just playing with a little bit of mobility stuff. A lot of the grabs in Aikido actually make sense if you think about weapon retention. So actually, am I able to use the knife, or am I able to use my weapon? A lot of the movements we do are actually very useful in a sense that someone wants to control your weapon, and I want to be able to use the weapon and maintain it. So just play with it. You're basically grabbing your own arm, and you're basically cutting your other arm with it. Basic skills, I want to get to the inside of the forearm and the inside of the arm, the upper arm. So, good. So, great. Okay, last couple of minutes. We'll play with one. All we've been doing is basically attacking stuff, apart from a little bit of kendo work we did this morning. But this basically being able to use the knife to attack with it. The other use of it is being able to use the knife to control someone. So this one is like this. You basically got the knife in the body. I'm not going to use the knife to stab, so I'm going to use it to control, and it's basically used as a threat on the body. So I'm going to use the spare arm, my other arm, to basically control, grab and wrap this way. And at the same time, I'm going to take the knife out and I'm going to press it to the throat this way. Yes, I'm trapping the arm and I'm bringing the knife to the throat. This is to neutralize the person, basically to trap them and over the head. So it's not a killing movement, although it could be potentially. But the idea with this is to do this all in one motion. So this the last couple of minutes. Play with this. You go again from neutral, and then you engage into it. This hand's going to come into a block, probably a wrap and a grab. At the same time, you're drawing it out. You're taking the knife into the throat this way. Hopefully that's enough. And then you can come out of it. You just want to smoothly come back in and out of that position. Do this with a little bit of movement if you want, but the key is that the whole body goes together, both arms engage, wrap up and find the throat. Come back. So it's using the knife in a slightly different way to basically neutralize. And this needs to be a choice of the whole body. Like, can't just be focused on the knife doing this. It needs to be that my whole body goes into it, into neutralizing. So that means the whole body goes into this feeling of controlling. But the same feeling you have, especially in the last Kumijō work, that same feeling, the body basically goes into this feeling of basically sinking, dropping, draining, and wrapping, coiling around the structures. And using the weapon to pin the body, basically. Yes, that's it, that's it, that's it. Great. Is it good? Okay, last 30 seconds though, as we've been playing with the ground, take this all the way to the ground. So obviously this won't be just enough unless I trap someone against the wall and I can manage to create space or something. So do this with the idea of controlling basically the feet. So as you go into it, the same idea come in, controlling, drawing them down and basically pinning down, and the whole way to the body basically on. And you can choose to bring your knee down if you want. Control, but just find a position where you really feel the whole way to the body, basically pressure into the ground. Hold it a couple of seconds and then release it carefully all the way back up and step out of it. So you're looking to take it all the way down now. And then control, wrap and draw the body down. Feel the whole weight of your body pressing in. So, last few. Very good. Okie dokie, great. We will stop there. Very good. So that last part is looking at neutralization, basically using the knife in that context where I'm actually looking to control the person rather than kill them, basically. So easy. Okay, great. Let's bow out. Great. Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Okay, very good. There we go.
Thank you.